Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Smells Like. I'm Josh. Good to see you. This is my full review for Bleu De Chanel Pure Parfum. This is a 2018 release, so the latest from Chanel and from the Bleu De Chanel line. Bleu De Chanel started with the Eau de Toilette in 2010, followed by the Eau de Parfum in 2014, and now I think they've kind of topped off the series with this Pure Parfum. I don't know if there'll be any other flankers. I kind of hope not. I hope maybe they do something new. But this is what the bottle looks like here. It's the same bottle as the other editions of Bleu de Chanel, except the lettering is in this sort of goldish hue instead of that like white, off-white. It's got a magnetic cap, and it comes in a 100 ml or a 50 ml size. The 100 ml is $150 retail, and the 50 ml comes in not too far behind, clocking in I think at around $1.20, $1.25, something like that. So, you know, money wise, I would go ahead and spring for the 100 ml if you're gonna spend that much money in the first place. Definitely a pricey one, edging up towards the very top of the designer realm in terms of pricing. And for me, a fragrance that is worth the price, contrary to the opinions of a lot of other people that I've seen. I absolutely fell in love with this fragrance the first time I tried it. I will, give a little bit of the backstory. For those who have been watching my channel, you know that I have a history with Bleu de Chanel. Bleu de Chanel was the first fragrance that got me into this hobby. It was the first one that really, just kind of knocked my socks off and just got me excited about fragrances. But they're also more than that. There's just something about that scent DNA. There's something about that, the sparkly, fresh, kind of, classy, smells expensive, but it's also really, really a crowd pleaser type of smell. There's just something about it that I love. I fell in love with it when I first smelled it in the department store, a few years ago, and since then have just always enjoyed it. My favorite up until now was the Eau de Parfum. I really like the incense in that and a little bit of the fullness that it brings. The Pure Parfum takes it in another direction entirely, in my opinion. This also has a different perfumer than the first two editions. So Jacques Polge created the first two, the EDT and the EDP. He retired recently. His son, Olivier Polge, took over as the in-house perfumer for Chanel and created the Pure Parfum. And so it does kind of go in a little bit of a different direction. It has sort of you can almost tell that it has a different perfumer's fingerprints on it. It has this little bit of the same DNA, but it goes a little bit of a different way. The main notes in this one are a bit simpler than the others. Chanel themselves said the main notes are lemon zest, sandalwood, and cedar, and that's kind of all that they list on their website. For me, the main notes I pick up are that lemon zest in the opening, along with some lavender and some geranium, giving it kind of this aromatic, fresh feeling. And then it dries down into kind of a warm cedar and this amazing smooth sandalwood. And I've heard now from more than one source, so I think it's true, that the sandalwood in this is legit real sandalwood, and that part of the reason, well, the main reason that the price is so much higher for the Parfum than from any of the others is because they use that real sandalwood. And apparently that sandalwood was sourced from a place called New Caledonia, which is a French owned island sort of off the coast of Australia in the same region as like New Guinea, that area of the world. So real sandalwood sourced there, and to me the star of the show here is that sandalwood. But so here are the notes from Fragrantica. The top notes, that lemon zest. They also have bergamot, mint and artemisia, which is also called wormwood. It's what they use to make absinthe, kind of a bitter green note. In the mid, then, the heart notes are lavender, geranium, green notes, and pineapple. Which I saw pineapple. I don't get any pineapple to me in this, but maybe it's in there. And then the base notes are cedar, that sandalwood, isoe super, tonka bean, and amberwood. So there are some things going on maybe in the background that I don't notice so much. But like I said, for me, the main notes are that lemon zest that it opens up with. It's the most zesty, almost astringent lemon smell. I can see how the very beginning of the opening could be off-putting for some people. It's a little bit harsh right out of the gate, but that fades literally within 60 seconds to a couple of minutes of it being on your skin. Once it settles down, that lemon kind of mellows out a little bit, and then you just get this nice, bright, sparkly citrus, along with a really amazing lavender, that Chanel lavender. It's just so beautiful. And what they did here to keep it from being too heavy-handed or from being anything other than just a nice herbal, refreshing type of lavender is they put that geranium with it, and geranium can sometimes have kind of like a metallic effect. It doesn't have that in this. It just has a really fresh, vibrant, almost watery fresh feeling. And I think that's maybe part of the blue aspect of this, could be coming from that geranium. And then as those dry down, really as you get through the heart of the fragrance into the dry down is all about that sandalwood and the cedar. You get the warmth and a little bit of dryness from the cedar, but that sandalwood just keeps things really smooth, keeps it from getting too dry. It just really has a nice balanced feel all the way through. And that lasts for hours and hours on me. Now, I've seen some people say that they didn't get very good performance with this fragrance. I don't know if my skin just happens to really deal well with, if my own body chemistry mixes well with this fragrance, with this DNA. Maybe that's why I fell in love with it in the first place, is that it just really works on my body. But I got amazing performance with this fragrance. That's part of why I fell in love with it in the first place, as I got a decant of it, and when I was wearing it, it was lasting for 10, 12 hours on my skin. But the thing I love the most is the projection. I get strong projection, which I would describe as like vapors. Like if I have it on my wrists or on my neck, it's like I'm constantly just getting these vapors coming up from the points where I spray it on, just constantly. Less like a scent cloud, like with the EDP, I get more of a scent cloud that incense brings. It's more of an aura. With this, it's almost just like vapors kind of constantly coming up around me and just really giving me the most amazing experience from the way that it projects off of my skin. And I get projection for, I'm gonna say 4 up to 5 hours of projection with this thing. And I'm talking like good, solid projection where I'm constantly smelling myself. That is one of, if not the main reason that I love this version of Bleu De Chanel so much. I get better projection with this fragrance than most of the fragrances in my collection. And for me, the longevity is up there too, but I like getting good longevity from fragrances. I tend to have good luck with that. I think maybe better luck than what I've seen from other people. I don't know if some people count longevity as how long it's projecting. People that say they only get 4 or 5 hours with this fragrance, maybe they mean it only projects for 4 or 5 hours. I could see that, but people saying they only get 4 or 5 hours of longevity, man, I'm getting 10 hours easy. And I was kind of second guessing myself before I made this review. I was looking back at some other reviewers, and I was really second guessing myself, like maybe I was wrong about how long it lasted. And so I wore it again today, and I can still smell it easily 10 hours in. You know, and we're on into the dry down now, but it's not like I have to really dig in. It's, you know, it's there. I can smell it, you know, nicely. I'm even still getting whiffs as I move around 10 hours into the fragrance, and for me that's awesome. So if you take a DNA that I already love, that I already have like a lot of good memories with, and that I just, you know, have a place in my heart for, and get this kind of performance, and then add to that the elevated smell. This really has an expensive smell. It smells high end. It smells super classy. You know, people are going to disagree with me, but I think this is an excellent release. I think this is the best version of Bleu De Chanel to date. The smell is amazing to me. You know, that sandalwood just blows me away. How natural smelling, and just how of high quality it smells to me. You know, some people talk about this smelling like bug spray, or you know, other things. I just don't get that. And all I can be is honest. I thought about maybe not giving this glowing of a review, because a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at this, but roll away, man, because I just got to be honest that this is the experience that I get with this. I'm sorry that other people don't enjoy it as much as I do, or aren't getting the kind of performance that I get. But I got to be honest, you know, when I do these reviews, I got to talk about my experience with it, and my experience has been awesome with this fragrance. It has jumped to the top of my list in terms of my favorite designer fragrances ever. It's just the case for me. So I would love to hear in the comments, you know, your thoughts on this, because I know that most people aren't getting the same experience, and that a lot of people don't even like the way this smells. Think it's generic, and I get why some people might think that this isn't, you know, the most unique thing ever. You know, I don't buy all of the other fragrances that do their versions of this kind of fragrance. You know, I just have this. I've talked about that with Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage has gotten tired. It's gotten kind of played out. Every other fragrance is kind of copying off of what they did with Dior Sauvage, but I'm not messing with any of the other fragrances. All these other designers, they're copying of it, but I want to have Dior Sauvage in my collection because it started that craze that everybody's copying off of it. It's the same with Bleu De Chanel. They were the first to do this sort of blue thing. So for me, this is the original of something that everybody has been copying off of and that you do smell everywhere. But I'd rather have the best version of the original. And for me, Bleu De Chanel Parfum is the best version of Bleu De Chanel, the original you know, blue fragrance to do this fresh blue men's mass appealing scent. So again, let me know in the comments your experience with this one. Be sure to like and please subscribe if you'd like to do this again sometime here at the Smells Like Fragrance channel. Thanks so much for watching.